Hey guys, welcome back to the Border View Farms YouTube channel. I hope you liked my year in review video from 2019 that I put out a week or two ago here. This one here is something a little bit even better. We're going to do a decade in review, or as best I can. So I'm going to show you some of our old farm pictures here to get started, and then we'll kind of go through a slideshow. I've got a few video clips and a lot of pictures from everywhere from back in 2010 through stuff today. So I hope you enjoy it, and we'll get started here. So this is kind of starting a little bit before 2010, but this is what the place looked like basically when my dad bought the farm. I think this picture is from in the mid-1970s. It did say 76 down here, but somebody erased that, so I don't know if that's accurate or not. But Dad bought it in the fall of 1979. Basically, 1980 was our first year here. Some evolution of this, if I can get the light off, sorry, of the farm here. You can see the shop is there in this point, but these two buildings are long gone. The barn over here looks a little bit different. So then this one, I honestly am not sure what time frame this is from. It's got to be late 80s, early 90s, maybe somewhere in there. I do remember these fuel tanks and propane tanks sitting there when I was a kid, but this fence row I don't remember. That's been gone for a long time. So this is more what I remember growing up as a kid. I think this picture is from the late 90s. This bin went up in, I want to say 98, but we put another barn in the back here in 2000. So it was somewhere in there, 98, 99 time frame. And then we'll jump to this one. This is from 2008. And you can see that barn in the background. Our grain system has changed some more from the last picture. Yeah. And then this picture has got to be from 2013-ish time frame, I want to say, because we bought a different sprayer. I think it was in 2015, but this bin was put up in 2012, so this has got to be somewhere in that frame. So getting started, I wanted to throw this video in, mostly just to show the difference in video quality from back in 2010 to now. I'm not exactly sure the date and year of this video, but I do remember taking it, and I had an old flip phone, and yeah, camera quality has come a long, long ways. I also have this one here of our old 9300 with a field cultivator. You can see the same thing. It's just grainy. So getting started here, we're going to start with some of the tractors that we had then, no longer have. The first one is this John Deere 4955. We actually bought this new. I believe it was the first tractor my dad bought new in 1992, and it was our main tillage tractor through the 90s. This is one that I learned how to drive tractor on for the most part. It's kind of cool. This was our old dog Buck. We also no longer have him. He could actually climb the steps in this tractor, which was fun. You'll see it here in a second. I kind of had to shut the door to get him to want to come. He loved riding in the tractors. We also had this 9300, the one you saw in the video a little bit ago. We no longer have that. Both that 4955 and this 9300 were really good tractors for us. They were tillage workhorses at one point in time. The 4955 kind of got retired to lighter duty stuff when we bought this tractor. Another equipment that we got rid of in this decade was our two combines. So back in 2010, we ran two combines. We had a 9660 and a 9550. And we kind of made the decision that running one big combine was better than running two smaller ones. But I do remember the day that we bought that 9660, or at least the day that they delivered it, right here. It was brand new. Pretty exciting day for us. Dad and I, neither one of us had ever had a brand new combine before. The 9660 was the first rotor combine that we had, and we used to combine all of our wheat with the 9550, or at least most of it, to have better straw quality with the old straw walker design. Don't have that option anymore either. We also traded grain carts, as you probably know if you followed my channel, because that was just this year that we bought a new grain cart, but this was the Underfirth 8200 that we ran since, I believe, 2004 or 5 when we bought that. It was a decent cart. We just needed something a little bit bigger, and so we traded to our Underfirth on tracks now, or Brent. We've also upgraded grain trucks in the past decade. This was our straight truck that we had. I don't remember when we bought that, but we ran it for quite a while. Just didn't hold enough to make it real efficient. And I think we also had this old Ford single axle trailer way back then too. This was mostly my Uncle Dan's. He ran it down to Berkey, but after he passed away, we decided to get rid of that and upgrade to bigger trucks. This was our corn planter then. Basically the same as our corn planter we have now, just now we have central commodity system instead of the individual boxes. So we ran that one for about 4 years. Sprayers, this was our Wilmar Eagle 8500 sprayer that we owned back then. I had 90-foot booms on it. We ran that sprayer for a number of years. Got to the point where if we wanted section control and auto steer and boom height control, it was pretty much cheaper to upgrade sprayers than to add that stuff. We also did some spraying with an old four-wheeler ATV sprayer. We actually still have the ATV sprayer, and we used it to spread clover seed as well. And then this one was my pickup back then. I loved that truck. Now to the equipment that replaced all of this stuff. Our 8335R we bought brand new in 2012. This tractor we traded the 4955 in. It does all the corn planting, a fair amount of tillage, runs the grain cart, that kind of stuff. I drive that one a lot. I really like that tractor. And we replaced our 9300 with this 9510R. Actually did a gold key tour on this. My Uncle Ron, my Aunt Tammy, and my mom actually went with me on this one. We actually got to sign the back of the cab on this tractor while it was still at the factory. That was the day we had both of them on the farm, and they picked up the other one. So the 9R does all of our tillage, or heavy tillage, I guess. We do run that disc with it some. We have a 45-foot field cultivator we pull with it. Chisel plow here in this next picture we still have, but we don't use much anymore. A 15 shank sunflower chisel plow. Last year we bought a John Deere 2730 that we now use in place of that sunflower chisel plow. This video was recorded the first day that we had that new field cultivator with a pretty much brand new tractor. The Brilliant color packer that we pulled behind it was also new at that time. Here's the new combine that we bought. This is the S680. We bought a 40-foot draper head for it so we can cover ground in soybeans very quickly. The ideal with the time was that we'd keep everybody working together, and we needed to be able to get soybeans done quickly. So we bought one big combine, big head to get the beans done quick so we'd have more time to do corn. The combine is not the bottleneck in corn, it is in beans and wheat. And then here is our grain cart, the new Brent grain cart on tracks that we upgraded to this year. Also our 3 trucks. There's an International and a Freightliner Columbia that we had, but this is our new Cascadia that we bought and a new grain trailer to go with it. I don't remember what year it was. We also bought this new Gator that we use in place of the four-wheeler, spreading clover seed and for a lot of things. We've also upgraded both of our planters in the last decade. This is the 1790 bean planter. It's a 32-row, 15-inch spacing. And then here is our new 1770 NT 16-row, 30-inch corn planter. This has got central commodity system, and I actually pull a liquid fertilizer tank behind it. Here's the seed tender, filling it with seed. We bought that too, and you can see the technology has come a long ways in the last decade. This is the sprayer that we upgraded to. It's a 4930 John Deere 120-foot booms, and it is a very nice sprayer. It does what we need it to do very well. And this is the pickup that replaced my Dodge Dakota. I like this truck pretty well too. We've also added some stuff that we didn't have before, like this irrigation system. It's a Cadman hard hose traveler. That was something new for us. I think 2013 was the first year we ran it, and we've had pretty good luck with being able to irrigate some corn and increasing our yields. We have a electric pump that we run with our generator, same generator we run our grain system with, so that makes us sort of efficient there and get to use our equipment more. Next, we're going to jump into equipment that we had in 2010, we still have today, like our 8300. We bought this tractor in 1998, I believe. Doesn't do a whole lot anymore, a little bit of tillage. We do haul some wagons around, but we don't use the wagons much anymore either, although we do still have them.
So it's handy to have around, but not a primary workhorse tractor anymore. This was kind of a cool picture I took when we had all three of them next to each other. The one in the middle there, it was our 8430. We actually bought this in 2009, so technically we had it the whole decade. We still use this tractor a lot. We used to put a lot of anhydrous on with it, as you can see here. Although this job has been taken over by the 8R at this point. It also plants beans and all the wheat. Here's our 4020. We've had this one since 1965. My grandpa bought it brand new, and this tractor will never leave our farm. In 2012, we actually stripped it down, sandblasted, and restored the tractor from the ground up. That was kind of my pet project in the winter, the one winter, and yeah, it looks really nice. I'm pretty proud of that tractor. It would be nice if we could completely retire it and not use it so that it wouldn't get scratched up and dings and oil leaks, but we do still use it for running an auger and little jobs around the farm. Now we're going to move on to kind of how our farmyard has changed over the last 10 years, our grain system improvements and that kind of stuff. This was our grain setup back in 2010, and we've changed a lot of things. Here we were putting a new grain leg in. This was actually a little before 2010, but we've also done some improvement to our buildings. You can see the front of our, we call it the pig barn, but our old hip roof barn was wood siding at the time. Oh, it was kind of cool, had some character to it and stuff, but decided we needed to fix that up. So we tore all the old siding off, put steel on it, as you can see here, and a new farm sign. We've also upgraded our fertilizer storage. We had a couple of tanks there that got painted. I think you saw in one of the other pictures. And then we added another tank and painted all of them nice white color. And while we did it, we painted the roof on the barn, tried to seal it up. We also added our office, which I've showed you a little bit in some of the other videos. That was done in 2012. Back to grain system upgrades. That Sukup bin, the shiny one there, was put up in 2012. That's about a 45,000 bushel bin. And then in 2017, I believe, we put up that really big Sukup bin. That one's 120,000 bushels. It was quite the addition to our grain storage capacity. And then in 2018, I believe, I may be off a year, but we took out the old Stormore top dry bin and added our current dryer, this grain handler that you can see there. And that is pretty much what our grain setup looks like today. And here it is at night. We've made a lot of improvements over the last decade, and I'm excited to see what the next ones will be. We've also made some improvements at our farms down to Berkey. We talked about this a little bit back in harvest when we were down there. But yeah, we had a couple of old silos down there that we tore down because we didn't use them. They were in the way. So that kind of opened up our driveway to be able to get our big equipment around a little bit better. Dad got this picture of the top falling. We also had an old hog barn down there that we took down because we didn't use it and it wasn't functional for anything else. And in 2012, we made some major grain system upgrades. New dump pit, which you can see the forms for, and then pouring concrete. New drying bin down there, a GSI top dry. New leg went in with it. Basically the whole system, we just tied in the old bins that now look tiny to it. We also built this green shed here. It was our grain shed down there for sampling and stuff. So pretty big project, made a very big difference in the way things look down there, but it's been a great investment for us. And it's nice to have that second home base when we're down there for the ground that we have there. I also built my seed warehouse. Believe it or not, between that tractor and our farm there is now a barn there. Here we were putting the driveway in. This was the summer of 2014, and then this is what it looks like now, or close, with my seed warehouse there. There's certainly been some challenging weather in the past decade, from floods to droughts. We've seen it all. 2012 was a really dry year. We've had flooded crops numerous times. We put drainage tile in to try and help that situation as much as we can. You can only do so much. We've also had issues with wind, but we do still get some pretty good sunsets from, I don't know when these pictures were taken, but they're not recent, and we still get them today. My dad bought his sawmill and some of his woodworking equipment in the last 10 years, which is a good hobby for him. I also got some pretty cool video of the neighboring plow day, and this big bud with a 21 bottom plow. There's some old videos about that you should go check out. On a personal note, my life has changed drastically in the last 10 years. Met my wife. We got married in 2014, and if you would have asked me 10 years ago where I would be at today, there's no way I would have ever dreamed it would be where I am, and I'm so happy. We've got two wonderful kids. Rylan, who he proved that our corn made knee-high by the 4th of July this year, and then Brayson, who is our youngest. I love having them in the tractor with me. I'm excited for them to grow up on the farm and have some of the same experiences that I did. I'm also thankful for a wife that's very patient and understanding during planting and harvest, and will bring my boys to come and see me when I'm not home enough. This past decade, we also lost some people that were very important to me. My Grandpa Baker here, he actually passed away in 2007. I lost both of my other grandparents in the past decade, and we miss them very, very much. But it is fortunate for us that my family has continued to grow. This was us back in 2010, and now 2 of my sisters have gotten married. We have a niece, 2 nephews, and of course my wife and boys, and I'm excited to see our family continue to grow. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little trip down my memory lane, and I'm excited to share a little bit more of what I do every day with you guys through the next year, and we'll see how long this goes. But it's been fun. I'm really enjoying it, and I hope you do too. It's amazing the changes that have taken place over the last decade, and I'll be amazed to see what happens over the next 10 years.